It's going to be an interesting week of sports betting as the baseball regular season comes to a close. Postseason begins on Friday, and we're now in week 5 of the NFL season. Here with me to talk about some MLB and NFL betting this week is New York Post sports betting reporter Erich Richter. Erich, welcome. Good to see you, man.
Dexter, thanks for having me on, man.
Definitely glad to have you here. We got a lot to talk about, okay, Erich? Heading into Tuesday night, Yankees slugger Aaron Judge, he's still stuck on 61 homers. Is it a good bet to take him to hit number 62 in game number 160?
Well, if he's going to do it, it's going to be either at 2 o'clock early on Tuesday, or for the night game Tuesday night, or Wednesday. He's only got 3 more games to get that elusive 60-second home run. Now, Judge, in the first half of today's doubleheader, he's facing Jon Gray. Jon Gray, not the best pitcher in the world. That people might remember him from his time with the Rockies. He was a top-tier prospect, never really lived up to the hype. Primarily, he's a fastball pitcher. He throws gas, but he struggles. He struggles to throw the fastball for strikes, and batters mostly crush them. So what's going to happen here? Is he going to get a shot? Is Judge even going to get a shot to line up a fastball from Jon Gray? Jon Gray's expected batting average on a fastball is 282, which is not good. But his slider is quite good. His expected batting average for a slider is 163. Hitters are expected to hit 163 on a slider. So I would have ventured to guess, like most pitchers have been doing, they'll just continue pitching around Judge. And if you want to just bet on his walk every single at bat, that's a fine bet, because nobody wants to throw the 60-second home run. That's just what it is. Just looking at Judge, most of his home runs are against fastballs. He's hit 35 of his 61 home runs against the Heat. 14. He's faced 1,440 fastballs. So on average, about 1 home run every 41 fastballs that he sees, but he's hitting 350 against the fastball. Now compare that to breaking pitches, so sliders, curveballs, etc. He's got 21 of his home runs against 981 pitches. So that's about average of 46 home runs per breaking pitch, hitting about 281. It's still elite. I mean, the guy is one of the best hitters of our time, but it's tough because no one's really going to give him anything to hit, and Jon Gray's best pitch is a slider. So I just expect a steady dose of sliders all out of the zone, on the outside part of the plate, probably just off. So you can't line it up, and it'll be off the end of the bat, or it'll be a walk. That's just what we just want to do.
So a no-go there. Nobody wants to have their name mentioned as part of trivia, giving up that 60-second home run to Judge. Now, keeping it to baseball, MLB wildcard round starts Friday. If you're still trying to get in on some future bets here, Erich, before the postseason, who do you like as the best bet to win the World Series?
I'm a Mets fan at heart, and I got to be honest, they ripped my heart out this weekend. And that's just what happened. So the Mets have been hovering around plus 500 throughout the season, and those have been great numbers. But now with the division sliding, a lot of books have, changed their odds. They're not going to win the division anymore. It's done. The Mets saw to that pretty easily. But right now, FanDuel has it at plus 950 for them to win the World Series. Most of the market's still at plus 700. So you're getting some value there. But the Mets have problems, just like any other team. They have elite starting pitching, which is huge, but they're missing probably the most important player on the roster, Starling Marte. They have to have Marte. If Marte's out, forget it. Their lineup is nowhere near what it needs to be to win a World Series. But they're still trying out DeGrom and Scherzer for game 1 and 2. Helps a lot. They have the best closer in the game, Edwin Diaz. So the Mets could be worth a shot at plus 950. To be honest, I don't even think the National League wins the World Series this year. I think the Yankees and Astros are significantly better than the National League. So for that, I would say that the Mets plus 550 to win the National League is an okay bet. But for me, it's all about the Astros and the Yankees. They have the 2 best lineups, and they're both coming around at the right time. The Yankees are playing their best baseball all season. Luis Severino almost pitched a no-hitter. He did pitch a no-hitter for 7 innings yesterday. They pulled him. So I would say, and yes, I know like Chapman is struggling. The bullpen is something to monitor, but that lineup is so elite. I would say right now it's a race between the Yankees and the Astros, and I'll take the Astros. Their lineup is better, and they also have a better bullpen. So, and they have more options, right? They can throw one of their starting pitchers into the bullpen, and then they can have a long reliever, which we've seen them do countless times. They've won the World Series a couple times here. So I would say best bet, Astros are plus 400 on BetMGM. And then if you're looking to grab a value spot, Mets plus 550 to win the National League. I'm fine with those plays. But when it comes down to it, I know Mets aren't exactly trending positively right now, but sometimes sports betting, sometimes just like sports betting, it's buy and sell. Buy low, sell high. Could be buying low here on the Mets.
Could be. Fans might not be so excited to put some money down on that plus 550 after what they saw this past week. Now, before we get out of here, got to talk some NFL football. Week 5 kicks off Thursday night. We've got the 1-2-1. Yes, they have a tie. Indianapolis Colts at the 2-2 Denver Broncos. Consensus line on this one has Denver as 3.5-point favorites with the over-under at 43.5. How you betting this one, Eric?
I mean, here's a question, Dex. Are any of these teams even good? I don't even know. Because, I mean, look, Denver came in with Super Bowl aspirations, right? They're 3.5-point favorites this weekend. Nathaniel Hackett preseason was a favorite to win Coach of the Year. We've never even seen him coach before. And now he's got the worst odds in the league. His odds to get fired first have skyrocketed. The coach has been a whole problem. Russell Wilson looks 34. He looks like 34 going on 40. We got a huge problem in Denver now with Javonte Williams out. But then when you look on the other side with the Colts got shut out by the Jaguars. So when you're looking at this game, it's a really hard one to bet because who's laying 3.5 on Denver, who just lost their best offensive player? Not me. So for me, I'm going primetime unders. That has been a key statistic that everyone's been talking about. 9 and 4 this season are unders in primetime. And get this, since 2019, primetime, 101 and 72. Unders are winning over overs. Teams are struggling to score when the lights are brightest. So what does that mean for the Colts, right? The Colts have Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan hasn't looked good at all. But here's the stat. Pro Football Focus. He is one of the worst quarterbacks when under pressure in the NFL. So what does that mean? He has 4 of his 5 interceptions in 31 dropbacks under pressure. That's a crazy interception rate. So I would say with Bradley Chubb running after him, I know there's no Randy Gregory, but I would say Matt Ryan under passing yards if you're looking for a prop. And then, the Broncos just lost their best offensive weapon in Javonte Williams. Melvin Gordon can't hold on to the ball. So what are we looking at? Cortland Sutton is the guy that Russell Wilson likes to throw to. So I would say Cortland Sutton, I saw in early lines, plus 170 to score a touchdown. I'm all over that. He's a great red zone target. So I would say that if they're going to score, they're going to be looking Sutton's way. And then the under of 43.5. The key number there is going to be 42.5. So that line I expect to drop to 41.5, especially if Jonathan Taylor gets ruled out. Even if he is playing, how many snaps is he really going to play? He just has an ankle sprain. They're refusing to say if it's a high or low ankle sprain. I would assume low if he even has a shot to play this weekend. And then if he doesn't, we're looking at a high ankle sprain. He doesn't play. And then what? The Colts are a mess. Denver's not much better, but I would say we're looking at under 43.5 as the best bet, and then the props, Matt Ryan under passing yards and Cortland Sutton to score a touchdown.
There you go. Got the under, got the props there. Should be an interesting one on Thursday night. That is Erich Richter, sports betting reporter for the New York Post. First time on here, Eric. Thank you. Appreciate all your insight and knowledge.
Dex, appreciate you, brother. Thanks for having me on.
Anytime, man.